This conference will now be recorded.
So in today's session, I'll show you the difference between import and direct query. So I think most of you are in confusion, right? Difference between direct query and import method. So I'll show you practically. So far I've been saying in import method, Power data will be data will be saved as a separate copy in a Power BI file. In direct query method, data will not be stored, right? So that is a statement that we have been discussing. Now I'll show you. Okay, I'll show. So I have created two tables. TBL underscore import is one table which is having around four records. So TBL underscore import table has a four records, 1, 2, 3, 4, and direct query also has the same number of records, same data. Okay, both the tables have a same data, but I'm going to develop as a Power BI report, and TBL import I'll import in a import connectivity method. So I will import in a import connectivity method. Import I'll use import method, and for this I'll use direct query. Okay, let's go to Power BI Desktop. Click on Get Data option and go to SQL Server. And here we will have to provide a name of the SQL Server, right? Let's provide name of the SQL Server. Come back to this SQL Server name over here. So I'm just taking a import connectivity method. Import connectivity method and click on OK. So I'll have to select TBL underscore import is the table, right? So go to Power BI database. So TBL underscore import is the table. TBL underscore import. I am importing the data in an import connectivity method. Click on a load option. Next, I am going to import the data in a direct query method. So go to SQL Server, and you can place server name over here. Then afterwards, just select a direct query connectivity method and click OK. But this time we are going to import TBL underscore direct query table. So TBL underscore direct query, here it is. Okay. Now click OK. Now, so I have imported TBL underscore import, right? So if you want to find storage mode, just place a cursor on a data set. It will show you the storage mode is import, and for this data set, there storage mode is a direct query. And if you want to confirm, go to data grid view, and if you click on this, if it is showing data, which means it is imported, which means it is saved into Power BI file, and this data TBL underscore direct query data is not saved into Power BI file. I'll prove it. Okay. Click on, go to report tab, and I want to present these two table data on a report in a table item. Here also we have a table item. Just click on table item, double click on table item, and here we can see a table item. So I'm just taking one table item. So this is for direct query. So ID and name. Okay, ID and name. So increase the font size a bit. Increase the font size to 20. Okay, let's increase the header size. Okay, fine. Fine, right? So this is import. So set title for it. This is direct query, no? So let's go for a title. Let's go. We'll discuss all these things. Okay. This is direct query. Direct query. So size, if you want to go for a heading line. So category 20 and go for middle. That's it. That's sufficient. Okay. Now copy paste this. and here we will uncheck these two and we'll feed the data from these two tables. Okay, same information, but this is from import. So we'll discuss all this in import. So left side table is pointing to left side table. This table is pointing to this data set, and right side table, this table is pointing to import table. Now, so this is imported, like we have copied the data in import connectivity method, and this is for our direct query connectivity method, right? Now erase it. Now save this only. Save this pbx file. The extension of the file is pbxn. Okay, dot pbix. Save it. Now I have saved this. Now I have saved this. So now I'm closing this. Okay, just remember, so left side table is in direct query and right side table is in an import method, right? So how many records we have? We have four records. So we have four records in left table and we have four records in the right side table. Okay, okay, now save it. Now I'm just closing it. Now here I am going to delete two records from each table. Two records from each table. Delete from tbl underscore import where id in 1 comma 2. So I'm going to delete two records from each table. Direct query. So execute it. Okay. Now if you query these two tables, now you query these two tables, and import table has a two records, 3, 4, and direct query table has a two records currently in the database. Okay. Now if I open this report, if I open this report, if you really understood the difference between import and direct query, now tell me how many records a left table will show and how many records right table will show. Can you just drop your answer in chat box? So left side table and right side table. So we so open it, just open it. So I see only two answers, which means only two members understood the difference between import and direct query. Okay, let's open it. So now I am running this report, which means I am running this report. Every time I run a report, see now direct query is showing two records, only two records, which means every time I run this report, if you are using direct query, if you are using direct query connectivity method, it goes to database every time it fetches the information, right? So in a database right now we have only two records in the table, so that's the reason it's showing only two records. But import connectivity method, what it does, it copies the data from database. So ఈ database లోని record two records ని complete గా కాపీ చేసేస్తుంది. So there is a separate copy which is available in PowerBI Desktop. That is the reason it is still showing of four records. Now in case if you want to have a latest information which is available in database into Power BI file, then we click on a refresh. So refresh is useful when we are importing data, when we are using import connectivity method. Okay, if you are not using import connectivity method, then no need of knowing about a refresh option. Okay, just if you click on refresh option, what it does now, it goes to database and it imports the latent information from database to Power BI desktop. Now it will show only two records. Got the difference? Any questions? So it's a very, very important question, especially when you are giving interviews, no? So you will get a question difference between import and direct code. Okay, fine. So next topic. So we have to discuss data model. Data model in Power BI. Okay, so let's import these two tables first. I'm going to import employee table into Power BI Desktop and department table into a Power BI Desktop. Then I'll show you some visualization. Then we'll come back to data modeling. So first we'll know the need of knowing data modeling. Then we'll come back to data modeling basic concepts. Let's import employee table and department table first. Go to SQL Server and you can paste a server name, paste the server name over here, and in import connectivity method, let's import these two tables, EMP and DEP table, EMP table and DEP table. So now I'm importing these two tables. Click on load option. Okay. Now successfully I imported employee table and just go through this data types of each and every field. Okay. And now I'll tell you if you are not converting data types, if you are not converting data types, what happens, I'll tell you. Okay, let's take table item. So in a visuals list, no, we have a different visuals to present the data which we imported from a database, right? Like in SSRS. Now here we have a table item. If you want to show the data in a rows and columns format, then we use a table item, then we use a matrix item. So a table and matrix we is a familiar items for us, right? So we have worked a lot on SSRS. So now take a table item, double click on it, and you will get the table item over here. And we can present the information in a rows and columns format. In case if someone asks you to develop any Power BI desktop report, in that report, in case if you want to present the data in a rows and columns format, and there are two options, the two visuals available. What are those two visuals? Table visual and a matrix visual. So right now we are going to discuss about a table visual. So select a table visual. Now what exactly you want to show on this particular table visual? Right now I want to show employee information, right? So let's start with the employee ID. So let's start with the employee ID. So now if I after selecting employee ID, it is showing 14, right? Instead of showing employee ID, so over here why it is showing 14 means in a Power BI, just remember this is a very, very important. In Power BI Desktop, whatever visual that you take, right? And after selecting a column from the data set, immediately the Power BI engine will identify the data type of the field, whether it is a numerical field or string field. If it is a numerical field, immediately by default, it applies a sum or count function on employee ID. Okay, if you want to know why it is showing 14 after selecting employee ID, instead of showing employee ID, it is showing a 14, right? So what is the aggregate function applied by default on employee ID? Okay, so by looking at the value, we can say it is a count, right? So click on a drop down. Here we have a drop down like a down arrow symbol. Click on this and you can see a count. So by default, as a Power BI engine, first whatever field that you select into the visual, you are feeding into the visual, and the Power BI engine will identify the data type. If it is a numerical data type, by default it applies count, or by default it applies a sum function. So that is the reason why I'm mentioning, please change the data type after import. As soon as you import the data into this particular Power BI data desktop, no, then we have to focus on data types. Now let's convert the data type. Let's select the column and convert into string. The string column. Now we don't want to have a sum operation on employee ID. Okay, change it to string. Now if we change it, select it. Now it is showing values, right? So earlier it was showing a count because of its was a numerical column, but so here we require a sum or count function, sum function commission, let it be having a sigma, and for manager also we have to convert it. We are let manager convert it to string. Okay, now employee ID. So whatever columns you want to show on a table visual, select the table visual, then you can drag and drop the fields into this value section. So you can drag and drop into this field section, and if you want to show job, drag and drop, మీరు drag and drop చేయలేకపోతే just select చేసుకున్న value సరిపోతుంది. Okay, manager, salary and commission ఆటోమేటిక్గా సేమ్ ఫీల్డ్ లోకి పుష్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, డిపార్ట్మెంట్ నెంబర్, right? So now we have selected all columns. We have selected columns to present on the table item, employee ID, employee name, job. If you want to edit the header, so we cannot edit in a visuals. If you double click on headers, no, so we are not allowed to edit the headers. In case if you want to change the header names, no, then after taking a column names, after taking fields from data set into a value section of the table visual, then here right click on this, double click on this, so double click on this and you can change it. Okay, employee ID, so let's look at the employee ID. You can change it over here. So here double click on this header and here you are allowed to change, rename it. So employee, now job it is, in case if you want to edit it, job. Now salary, salary. Okay, so in case after selecting a columns into the visuals, here the value section. So for each and every visual, there are two important properties. One is a field section. Fields means what are the columns that you are showing into this particular visual. So next section is a formatting section. So there are two sections. So by default, for each and every visual in a PowerBI desktop, we'll have two different sections. The first one is a field section. What field section shows? What are the columns? What are the fields you are showing on this particular visual? You can see the list of fields which you used in this particular visual. In a second option is a visual formatting. So here a formatting section is consists of all kind of powders, like we can say cosmetic changes, right? In case if you want to apply background colors, foreground colors and borders and everything. So formatting options are, all formatting options are available under format tab. And what are the columns that you selected to show in a visual? If you want to see the list of columns, then click on a fields tab. So going forward, whatever visual you want to pick up for reporting, then each and every visual will have a two different section, field section and a formatting section, right? Now after that, like after selecting a columns, now if you want to edit the headers in a visualization, we cannot edit the headers in a visualization directly. We have to edit in a value section by double clicking on a particular item. Okay, so now in case if I change, if I want to change the order of the column. So right now the order is employee ID, employee name, job, manager, salary, commission, department number. I want to show salary, commission at the end after DEBT number. If you want to change the position of the column, you no need to remove a column from the list, just that drag and drop. Just salary you want to show, just drag and drop. You can change the positions over here, commission in the end, right? So in case if you want to change the position of the columns, here you can adjust it. You can adjust it over. In case if you want to remove any column after addition, you click on this into symbol. Just click on into symbol, it will be removed from the list. Okay, any questions so far on showing data on a table visual in Power BI Desktop? So simple, right?
వాల్యూమ్స్ నేమ్స్ చేంజ్ చేశారు కదా సార్, డేటాబేస్లో చేంజ్ అవుతాయి అవి?
Values, no,
నేమ్ అంటే ఎంప్లాయీ
here
ఐడి, ఎంప్లాయరు అవి.
it will not change. It will not get changed in a database. Here we just while presenting the data on a Power BI Desktop, while presenting the data, I'm just renaming the headers like we did in SSRS. SSRS లో కూడా headers rename చేసాం కదా. So after removing a commission column, if you want to add it again just drag and drop over here, drag and drop. That's it. Okay. In case if you want to show a columns from any data set, just select and drop it over here. Just select and drop it over here. Okay. Fine. So after selecting a columns, after selecting all the columns which you want to show on this particular visual, then in case if you want to increase the format size, format font family, font size and background colors, foreground colors, everything, every format option is available under format tab. Just click on a format, just select a visual and click on a format tab. Here you can see all the formatting options. Okay, so let's concentrate on a formatting. So here we have a style presets. This is introduced in a latest version. So latest version. So this consists of predefined format. This consists of predefined formats of the table. Just on the drop down, if you select here, the different formats options are. This is a predefined format. If you select a minimal, it will show it differently. So client ఎలా ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తే అలా ఫార్మాట్లు ఇవ్వాలన్నమాట. ఓకే, now if you select, let's try with other bold headers. సో headers కి కలర్స్ అప్లై అవుతాయి. దెన్ these are the different predefined formats, and these are the predefined formats available for formatting. If a client is requesting a similar way, then we can directly apply these predefined formats. Okay, contrast, alternative rows, predefined format. These are the predefined formats introduced in latest version of a Power BI Desktop. Okay, these are the predefined formats. If the format is the whatever client is requested, what is the client is requested, the format is not available, then we will have to go for custom formatting. This is the predefined formats. So these are a predefined formats we have. If the format is not available in the list, if the format is not available in the list, then we have to go to customized format. Okay, fine. Take the default. Next option, grid option. So in a SSRS, we applied borders, right? Let's see here also we have an option of a grid option. So here we have a three different horizontal grids, vertical grid lines, borders, right? Three different things. Horizontal grid lines means, so here separator, row separator. Here we have a row, right? This is a line. In case if you want to change the border of this, in case if you want to change the border of this with light black color border కావాలనుకోండి, then you can directly come to this grid option. Here we have a horizontal grid lines, vertical grid lines, border. So horizontal అంటే row separator. So row separator. And what is the color that you want to pick up? Black kavala, black width 1 pt 2 pt, right? So in case if you want to have a 1 pt 2 pt, that you can change it over here. So similar to ssrs only, similar to ssrs, like 1 pt is fine, 1 pt is fine. And this is how we set the horizontal borders. Now in case of vertical borders, if you want to set vertical borders means column separator. So this is a column separator, right? So here we have a column separator. This one. So this is a column separator. So this one is a column separator. This is a column separator. So we call them a vertical grid lines. Vertical grid lines. Select this visual. Go to the formatting option, and here under grid option we have a vertical grid lines. Just on చేసుకున్న vertical grid lines. Then if you want to set a black, just select a black 1 pt. So vertical grid lines వచ్చేసి vertical grid lines. Okay. Now borders. సో బోర్డర్స్ లో కూడా మనకి ఎస్ఎస్ఆర్ఎస్ లో ఆప్షన్స్ అన్ని ఉన్నాయి. బోర్డర్ కలర్ వచ్చేసి బ్లాక్ తీసుకుందాం. లెట్స్ టేక్ ఎ బ్లాక్ ఫర్ బోర్డర్. And over here under options we can see row padding, global font size. So global font size కి సెలెక్ట్ చేశారనుకోండి, గ్లోబల్ ఫాంట్ సైజ్ అంటే ఏంటంటే హెడర్స్ కి, వాల్యూస్ కి, టోటల్ సెక్షన్ కి కంప్లీట్ ఒకే సైజ్ అప్లై చేసుకోవాలండి. 15 చేశారంటే అన్నిటి ఒకేసారి అప్లై అయిపోతుంది. సో ఇండివిజువల్ గా సారీ, హెడర్స్ కి సపరేట్ గా ఫాంట్ సైజు, వాల్యూస్ కి సపరేట్ గా ఫాంట్ సైజు, టోటల్ సెక్షన్ కి సపరేట్ గా ఫాంట్ సైజ్ చేసుకోవాలంటే డోంట్ అప్లై గ్లోబల్ ఫాంట్ సైజ్. గ్లోబల్ ఫాంట్ సైజ్ సేమ్ పెట్టేసేసేయండి. సేమ్ పెట్టేస్తే సేమ్ ఉంటుంది. ఇన్ కేస్ మీరు డిఫరెంట్ గా యూజ్ చేసుకోవాలనుకున్నారనుకోండి, ఓకే, ఇన్ కేస్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు గో విత్ డిఫరెంట్ గా వెళ్ళాలనుకున్నారనుకోండి, సో హెడర్స్ కి సపరేట్ ఫాంట్ సైజు, వాల్యూస్ కి సపరేట్ గా ఫాంట్ సైజు, టోటల్ రో కి సపరేట్ గా ఫాంట్ సైజ్ ఉండాలనుకోండి, దెన్ ఈ గ్రిడ్స్ కి క్లోజ్ చేసేసింది, మినిమైజ్ చేసేసింది. హియర్ వీ హ్యావ్ అ వాల్యూ సెక్షన్. Any formatting change, any formatting like to the values, like 7 8 3 9 ఈ values ఉన్నాయి కదా, we call them as a value section. These are the value section. Any formatting change that you are looking for a values, then directly you can come to value section. Any formatting change that you are looking for a headers కి ఏ formatting change కావాలన్నా డైరెక్ట్ గా వచ్చేసి కాలమ్ headers కి వెళ్ళండి. నెక్స్ట్, in case if you are looking for a background color for total row ki background color font size different ga undalante, then directly come to totals. Okay, so very important option. Any change to the header section, any formatting change like increasing font family, setting to calibri, increasing font size, everything, all options are available under column headers. Okay, here under column headers, any change to the values, any change to the values, any change to the values, any formatting change to the value, then directly go to value section. Any change to the total row, any change to the total row like increasing font size, directly go to total section. Okay, fine. Now I want to increase the font size for headers, then go to a column header section, and over here I can see what is the font family or favorite font family. We all are our favorite font family is Calibri, right? Let's type Calibri. Do we have a Calibri? Yes, Calibri. 11 pt kada. So Calibri or 11 pt. So bold. So in case if you want to set a background color, so the text color is a black, means which means foreground color. Text means foreground color, and background color. If you want to set a background color, so just select a background color for it. And in case అన్ని హెడర్స్ మిడిల్లో కావాలనుకోండి, మిడిల్లో సెట్ చేసుకోండి. హెడర్స్ మిడిల్లో కావాలి, లెఫ్ట్లో కావాలి, రైట్లో కావాలంటే అన్నిటికీ అప్లై అవుతుంది. ఎంటైర్ హెడర్ ఒక అప్లై అవుతుంది. వాట్ ఎవర్ formatting option you are selecting on the column headers, it applies to all column headers, not for specific. Okay, specific columns కి అప్లై కదా, అన్ని కాలమ్స్ కి అప్లై అవుతుంది. స్పెసిఫిక్ కాలమ్స్ కావాలంటే we will talk about. Okay, in case if you want to align in the middle, each column middle align చేయాలంటే then we go to column header section, we select this option. Okay, now in the similar way, in case if you want to set a font family, okay, so column headers వచ్చి 12 పెడదాం, మరి 13, let's make it 13. Okay, 13 is the reason, or else 15, go for 15. It's not visible కాబట్టి. Now any formatting changes to the values, directly will go to a value section. Over here we can change. So let's go to 12. 12 increase in, is it visible, or I'll make it 13. 30. Now our favorite font family is Calibri. Let's go and select it. And bold is not required, right? Bold is not. So we want to set, so foreground color for values, and background color. In case if you want to change the background color, just change the background color and alternate color. So again, same case. So we have seen in SSRS how to provide alternate colors, right? Red, blue. So over here also we will try having alternate colors, but we have a direct option over here. No need to write any expression. We have a direct option. So alternate color వచ్చేసి white and blue కావాలనుకున్నాను అనుకోండి, white and blue. So white, blue, foreground color. Let's need to the back. So background color. So this is a background color. So blue కావాలనుకున్నాను, so blue. Okay, so మీకు ఏ కలర్ కావాలనుకుంటే alternate colors. సో alternate colors వచ్చేసి డైరెక్ట్ ఆప్షన్ ఇచ్చేసారు క్లయింట్. సో 3 rows కి alternate colors కావాలి, 4 rows కి alternate colors కావాలంటే again we have to write expression. So for 2 colors we have a predefined option over here available in PowerBI Desktop for 2 alternate colors. In case if you want to bring 3 alternate colors అనుకోండి, again we will have to go for an expression. We will discuss it. Okay, any questions so far? Next, total section. In case if you don't want to have a total section, just off చేసేస్తే total section visible కాదు. In case if you want to have a total section on చేసుకోండి, then you can set the same options. Total, this label here we are showing a total label, right? So here you can change the total label to grand total. In case if you want to edit grand total and Calibri 13, that's fine. So in case if you want to change the background color, so just go and change the background color for it. Okay, and text color just white background, white, bold. Okay, fine. So any questions so far on formatting tab? So first option, we have a predefined formats of the table, predefined formats like alternate colors, so background highlight చేసేది borders అంతా. So if client is requesting for same formatting, directly go and select this style process, the predefined styles we have under this tab. So if you want to go for a customized formatting, then focus on the rest of the options. So if you want to have a borders like black borders, white borders, if you want to set the borders for table, then go to grid option. Then values, which means here we are showing the values, right? In case any formatting change like font size, font family, and the background color and the font, so the foreground color, if you want to set for values, all the formatting options available in the value section. Similar way, column headers and total row. Now any questions so far till here? Any questions? We can change the border styles. Yes, here just look, go and just change the lines. Like here we have a grid, no? So which border you want to set, so which border and what is the style that you want to apply, so you can go to this here. If it is available here, and use it. If it is not available, which means we have to go for customized format. Okay, any other questions? Okay, fine. So next, in case So far clear, no? So here we have two different options: specific column and cell elements. So note it down, these two columns: specific column and cell elements. Specific column is nothing but a field formatting. So this option is renamed, and in latest version renamed this. So earlier it was field formatting. If you are going to an interview, like if you are attending an interview, no, interviews లో ఏంటంటే ఆల్రెడీ ఓల్డ్ వర్షన్ యూజ్ చేస్తుంటారు, ఒక 5 months బ్యాక్ వర్షన్ యూజ్ చేస్తుంటారు. బట్ యూ మైట్ రిసీవ్ ఏ క్వశ్చన్, వాట్ ఈస్ ద డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ ఫీల్డ్ ఫార్మాటింగ్ అండ్ కండిషనల్ ఫార్మాటింగ్. బట్ ఇన్ లేటెస్ట్ వర్షన్ దే రిమూవ్ ద నేమ్స్, దే రీనేమ్ ద ఆప్షన్స్. Field formatting they renamed as a specific column, and conditional formatting they renamed as a cell element. Remember that ఇంటర్వ్యూలో వాళ్ళు స్టిల్ ఫీల్డ్ ఫార్మాటింగ్, కండిషనల్ ఫార్మాటింగ్ అని కాల్ చేస్తారు. బట్ సో మన 3 years ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అని చెప్తాం కదా, సో ఓల్డ్ ఫార్మాట్స్ మీద కూడా మనకు ఐడియా ఉండదు. సో ఓల్డ్ నేమ్స్ ఏంటంటే స్పెసిఫిక్ కాలమ్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఏ ఫీల్డ్ ఫార్మాటింగ్ ఆప్షన్ ఇన్ ప్రీవియస్ వర్షన్, and cell elements is nothing but a conditional formatting. What is the difference between field formatting and conditional formatting in PowerBI? Specific column ante, so whatever colors that we applied so far, it applied to entire row. No, whatever color that we applied, it applied to entire row. So entire row apply. In case if you want to apply a color to specific column, like commission column, entire column ki apply చేయాలనుకుంటున్నా, ఒక separate color apply చేయాలనుకుంటున్నా. I want to apply a color specific to column. Specific column కి నేను కలర్, బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ కలర్ అప్లై చేయాలనుకుంటే దెన్ గో టు స్పెసిఫిక్ కాలమ్ ఆప్షన్. ఓకే, సో బ్లైండ్ గా ఇన్ కేస్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు అప్లై అ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ కలర్ ఫర్ అ కమిషన్ కాలమ్, ఎంటైర్ కమిషన్ కాలమ్ వితౌట్ హ్యావింగ్ ఏ కండిషన్, విచ్ మీన్స్ ఎంటైర్ కాలమ్ విల్ బి హైలైటెడ్ in a specific with a specific color. If you have a condition, based on a condition, if you want to highlight a column, then go to cell elements. Okay, so again the difference between specific column and cell elements, which is nothing but a field formatting and conditional formatting. Field formatting lo there is no condition, without condition. If you want to have a background color to the commission column, just go and apply in a specific column. If you have a condition to highlight the column, then go to cell elements, which is nothing but a conditional format. Okay, so I'll show you an example, you will understand with an example clearly. Okay, so I am going to specific columns option. Now specific column which I chose is commission. So now select a commission column over here, and after selecting commission, now I want to apply a color blindly. So background color నేను ఏం అప్లై చేయాలనుకుంటున్నానంటే, సో let's take this color. సో బ్లైండ్ గా అప్లై అయిపోయింది చూడండి, ఎంటైర్ కాలమ్ కి అప్లై అయిపోయింది. బట్ హెడర్ రోకి అప్లై కాలేదు, టోటల్ రోకి అప్లై కాలేదు. ఇన్ కేస్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు అప్లై హెడర్, అప్లై టు హెడర్, header apply అవుతుంది. If you want to apply to total row, yes, click on total row, it will apply to total row as well. So now we didn't mention any condition. So in a specific columns we didn't mention anything. Specific on the specific columns we didn't mention anything, just we blindly selected a commission column. After that we wanted to apply this color, background color, to header section, total section, and a value section. Then in case if you want to set it a middle alignment, middle lo kavalante values middle lo kavali, left lo specific. So in a previous alignment option, it applied for entire row, no? So in case if you want to apply any formatting to a specific to a column, to only specific column, then directly you can come to a specific column option. Then here you can select the format. So whatever format you apply over here, which will apply to only that particular column, not to entire table. Okay, fine. So now you can put in a middle also. Then display units and చెప్పాము. So none better thousands లో show చేయాలంటే it will show in thousands, and if you want to show in a billions, it will show in a billions. You need to just select a none, it will show the actual value. None select చేసుకుంటే actual value show చేస్తుంది. Okay, decimals చూడండి, commission లో decimals ఉన్నాయి. So if client doesn't want to see a decimals, then here you have to set 0 set చేస్తే decimals పోతాయి అన్నమాట. Okay, fine. Any questions? So here we didn't mention any condition. Specific column, just we selected a column, we just simply selected a column, and then we applied a background color. So we simply selected a column, we applied a background color. Any questions on specific column? Okay. Now in case if you go to cell elements, which is nothing but a conditional formatting, So if you have a condition like salary, if you have a condition, if the salary is greater than 5,000, if the salary is greater than 2,000, then only you highlight that row. For example, if the salary is greater than 3,000, highlight that cell with some background color. If the salary is less than 3,000, highlight with some other color. So based on a condition. If you want to apply a color to a specific column, so I'm again applying a color to a specific column. Particular cell ki ledandi, particular cell ki ledante again we have to go to cell elements ki వెళ్ళి again we have to write down an expression to identify particular cell. So in case if you want to apply a particular cell like 5000 కి మీరు specific గా apply చేయాలనుకున్నాను అనుకోండి, then we'll go to cell elements. We have to define a condition over here in a conditional formatting, which is nothing but a cell formats. Okay, just expand a cell format, cell elements. Under cell elements, here we have fx. Wherever you find fx, which means there is a feasibility of a writing expression. There is a feasibility of a writing expression. Now this time I want to go with the salary column. Just go with the salary column. Now if you want to define a condition for background color, just select and click on fx. You will get a new window to apply a background color. See, so you will get a background color. Here to apply a background color, see, we have a three options over here. First is a gradient, rules, and a field. There are three different sections we have. In a conditional formatting, we have three different values: gradient, rules, and field values. If you select a gradient, which means based on the value, so I'm just taking a sum of value. So based on the values, లోయెస్ట్ వాల్యూకి ఈ కలర్ అప్లై కావాలి అండ్ హై మ్యాక్సిమం. సో స్లోలీగా గ్రేడియంట్ అవుతుంది కదా, సో వాల్యూస్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంటే ఈ వాల్యూస్ ఇలాంటి కలర్ అప్లై కావాలి. సో బిట్వీన్ ఈ కలర్ డెన్సిటీలో ఉంటుందండి. ఈ కలర్ ఉంటే ఈ కలర్కి ఇంక్రీజ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటుంది కదా, డెన్సిటీ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. క్లిక్ ఓకే. సో హైయెస్ట్ వాల్యూస్ ఏమవుతాయంటే మనకి గ్రేటర్ వాల్యూస్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, సో అలా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయాలి. సో అండర్ సాలరీ కాలమ్, here under salary we have under gradient option. We are talking about gradient option. Gradient ఏం చేస్తుందంటే, you select any column over here and if you select a color over here, no, lowest values అంటే ఏంటి, 950, 800, these are lowest values, right? Highest values means 5000, 3000, 3000, 2900, 2850 is the highest colors. మీరు లోయెస్ట్ వాల్యూస్ కి ఈ కలర్ రావాలి, హైయెస్ట్ వాల్యూస్ కి బేస్డ్ ఆన్ సాలరీ కాలమ్ హైయెస్ట్ వాల్యూస్ కి ఇక్కడ ఉండే కలర్ అప్లై కావాలనుకుందాం. ఓకే, పర్టికులర్ సెల్ we will talk about. ఓకే, సో హైయెస్ట్ వాల్యూస్ కి ఈ కలర్ అప్లై కావాలి, సారీ లోయెస్ట్ వాల్యూస్ కి ఈ కలర్ అప్లై కావాలి, హైయెస్ట్ వాల్యూస్ కి ఈ పర్టికులర్ కలర్ అప్లై కావాలనుకున్నాను అనుకోండి. దెన్ లోయెస్ట్ వాల్యూస్ ఇక్కడ ఏమున్నాయి, 950, 800, ఈ కలర్ అప్లై అవుతుంది. ఒక వాల్యూ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయ్యే కొద్దీ, ఒక 800 to 900, 900 to 1000 వాల్యూ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయ్యే కొద్దీ కలర్ వచ్చి ఏమవుతుందంటే చేంజ్ అవుతుంది టువర్డ్స్ దిస్ కలర్. ఓకే, ఈ కలర్ నుంచి ఈ కలర్ కి చేంజ్ అవుతూ ఉంది టువర్డ్స్ దిస్ కలర్. హైయెస్ట్ వాల్యూకి ఈ కలర్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ మీన్ బై గ్రేడియంట్. క్లిక్ ఓకే. సేమ్ చూడండి. సో ఫస్ట్ లోయెస్ట్ వాల్యూకి కలర్ వస్తుందా, వాల్యూ సైజ్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయ్యేకుంది టువర్డ్స్ హైయెస్ట్ వాల్యూ కలర్ వస్తుంది. ఓకే, any questions on a gradient option? So it's based on client requirement. We use or we don't use, this is a different thing, but yeah, we use it, but based on client requirement. Okay, next option is rules and field value. So we will talk about rules in next session. So in this session we will talk about field value. Okay, in case if you want to bring color value from a SQL server table, then we use a option called field value. For example, 500 మీరు చెప్పారు కదా, 500 తో కలర్ అప్లై కావాలి, 300, 3000 తో కలర్ అప్లై కావాలని. సో వీ హ్యావ్ టు కోడ్ దట్ ఇన్ a SQL query. Let's say go to SQL server and here we can mention it. So just execute, add a column, alter table emp, add color varchar of 100. Now you want to highlight a specific cell kada. So for specific cell, for let's say 800 is a specific cell for you know. So if you want to update separate color for this, so I'm updating employee table color. So by default white color set చేస్తాను అన్నిటికి, white by default white. If you want to apply specific color, this 800 separate color apply చేయాలనుకోండి, specific cell అని చెప్పారు కదా, specific cell కి అప్లై చేయాలి. salary equal to 800 మనం queryలో మేనేజ్ చేయాల్సింది. That is why SQL is very very important. SQL is the base for everything, right? Now వైట్ ఏమని చేసాం, ఏం కలర్ అప్లై చేయమంటారు, రెడ్ అప్లై చేయమంటారా, బ్లూ. So now we can bring a colors from SQL Server as well, like in SSRS. Now I want to apply 800. I want to apply a blue color. For the rest of the background color is the white color. Now you bring this column into PowerBI Desktop. Go to PowerBI Desktop and just cancel it and now just refresh it. You will get that column. Just refresh it. Now we have this column, color column, right? Now just go to the expression formatting option, then cell elements, which is nothing but a conditional formatting. I want to apply conditional formatting to salary column. Background color, here gradient apply చేస్తాం కదా, gradient to let's change it to field value change in, and from which field we can take the color. Color value ఏ field నుంచి వస్తుంది, ఏ column నుంచి వస్తుంది, color value is from color field, right? Color field is from, and click OK. 800 ఒకటే వచ్చిన హైలైట్ అయింది. In case if you want to highlight a specific cell, this is how you have to go with. Any questions on this? Specific cell value ki meer color apply cheyalante on a column side, if you want to apply a color to a specific cell, we can bring that color from the table, SQL Server table. Here we are just here we have to mention, we have to build a logic in SQL Server to identify a particular cell for color. So for 800 ki blue color highlight chesanu, rest of the white color set chesanu. Now I imported this column into PowerBI Desktop. Then next option under conditional formatting, which is nothing but a cell elements in the latest version of the Power BI, and go to salary column and background color scale. Here we have to select a field value. Under format style, we have to select a field value and the color name. Yes, SSRS is better అండి. So ఈ particular case లో SSRS చాలా better. Okay, fine. Any questions so far on table item? So only one option left, that is a rule option. We will talk about in next session. Any questions so far on this particular table item? Okay, fine. So next, so we will discuss data model in next session. And so I got into this. Let's complete a table item today. Okay. Now I am taking another table item. Let's take another table item. So in case if you want to show aggregated information in one table, in case if you want to show aggregated information in one table. So what is the option that we have to use in SSRS to show aggregated information? Means the department wise sum of salary, job wise sum of salary. If you want to show job wise sum of salary on a table item, no? So what is the concept that we have to use in SSRS? Do you remember that concept? For aggregations, row group, right? So row group is a right option that we have to use in SSRS and Power BI report builder for having aggregated information, right? Perfect answer. In case of SQL, it is a group by class. But over here it is a inbuilt. Okay, it's a simple trick. Why I am comparing? So you'll have to work on SSRS, Power BI report builder, SQL, and everything, and so you need to have a comparison. Okay. Now I want to show department wise sum of salary, right? So the employee information available in this particular data set and department wise sum of salary, no, just drag and drop this particular field. Now it's a department number and salary, you drag and drop. Now it is showing just salary, drag and drop change. Now it is showing department wise sum of salary. See, so we didn't apply any formatting option, we didn't apply row group, we didn't apply group by class, we didn't apply sum, but it is showing department wise sum of salary. See, so my point over here in Power BI Desktop, whenever you are dealing with the Power BI Desktop reports, here aggregations are inbuilt. Okay, aggregations are inbuilt. In case if you are dealing with SSRS, their aggregations are not inbuilt. By default details information show చేస్తుంది SSRS. Like if you are dragging department number and salary in SSRS you will see all 14 rows, right? Department number and 14 rows వస్తాయి, salary 14 rows వస్తాయి. In case aggregations కావాలంటే then we'll go to row group, right? We'll go and apply row group option. But in Power BI Desktop aggregations are inbuilt. By default aggregations వచ్చేస్తాయి, ఓకేనా? Here I selected one department number which is a string field. I selected another column which is a numerical field. When you are selecting one string field and one numerical field into any visual, now I'm not talking about only a table visual, any visual you take from this list, any visual if you take from this list, if you are taking one string field, one numerical field, you are in numerical field ఏమవుతుంది, group by string field sum of numerical field వస్తుంది. So aggregations by default వస్తుంది. Okay, now if I not selecting department number, if I select commission, what happens? So sum of salary, sum of commission, sum of salary, sum of commission వస్తుంది. So సమ్ అప్లై అయింది, నాకు కౌంట్ అప్లై కావాలనుకోండి. సో ఈ కాలం మీద ఏ అగ్రిగేట్ ఫంక్షన్ అప్లై అయింది బై డిఫాల్ట్ తెలుసుకోవాలంటే ఈ డౌన్ యారో ఉంది కదా, క్లిక్ ఆన్ దిస్ డౌన్ యారో and go to, and you can see over here what is the default function is applied. Sum is the default function which is applied on a salary column. Now on commission, commission column is summarize sum apply. In case if you want to go, if you want to show details, right? So by default aggregations వస్తాయి, so details షో చేయాలనుకోండి. In case salary values ని details గా షో చేయాలి, then the drop down click చేసి don't summarize option select చేసుకోండి. Select don't summarize, now it will show details. Do the same for commission, do the same for commission, don't summarize, now it will show the details. So as soon as you select, so I'm just taking a new table visual. As soon as you select a salary column, by default it applies. If it is a numerical column, that's why I'm mentioning you just focus on data types first. After importing data, we have to focus on data types. The reason being, Power BI Desktop by default it shows aggregated information on any visual, right? Now if I'm taking a salary column into the value section, it is showing 29,025 rupees, which means sum of salary, right? By default the sum of salary చూపించేస్తుంది. So ఏ ఆపరేషన్, ఏ అగ్రిగేట్ ఫంక్షన్ అప్లై అయింది ఈ పర్టికులర్ కాలమ్, if you want to know that, so down arrow click చేయండి, then you can see a sum. If you want to have an average, click on average, then it will show average salary. This is average salary. In case if you want to show minimum salary is 800, and what is the maximum salary? Do you remember maximum salary? Let's see how many of remember maximum salary. 5,000 screen లో ఉంది కదండి. Maximum salary is 5,000. In case if you want to show count value, so 14 salaries we have. In case if you want to if you want to count distinct values, if you want to count distinct values, then we use a count of distinct. If you want to go with a color, if you want to go with a distinct count, let's say if I'm showing us let's say if I'm showing department number over here, in case if you want to show distinct departments available, count distinct accounts available రావాలంటే count distinct యూస్ చేస్తే ఏమొస్తుందో 3 ఆప్షన్ రావాలి. ఎందుకని we have 3 distinct departments, right? So that is the reason it is showing as 3. If you select count distinct, it will show distinct values count. If you want to count everything, just count it. Now we have 14, right? 14 rows it will show. Okay, any questions? This is a very important point, bottom line. ఈ లైన్ మీకు అండర్స్టాండ్ కాకపోతే రెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద రిపోర్ట్స్ అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకుని చాలా టఫ్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, బేసిక్ లైన్ ఏంటంటే వాట్ ఎవర్ విజువల్ యూ టేక్, if you are taking a columns which is nothing but a fields and dropping into the visual, and first thing that Power BI engine does, it will verify whether it is a string field or a numerical field. If it is a string field, then after that if you are browsing a numerical field, then group by department number, sum of salary, by default aggregation. In case if you don't want to apply aggregations, then drop down click చేసి don't summarize and salary code ఏం చేసి drop down click చేసి don't summarize చేస్తే now it will show the details, department number and salary, right? So that's all I wanted to discuss on table visuals. Any questions so far? Any questions on table visual? Showing aggregated information, showing the details. It's very important. Showing aggregated information, client sometimes he requests for aggregated information, sometimes he requests for detailed information. Okay, clear. It's a very simple option, sir. Now, so now I'm just taking another table visual. And to show department information, we have a three departments, right? Department number, department name, and location. We have a three department number, department name, location. So fonts family కూడా increase చేద్దాం. So let's take the same కాపీ పేస్ట్ ఇక్కడ కూడా వర్క్ అవుతుంది. కంట్రోల్ సి కంట్రోల్ వి కాపీ పేస్ట్ ఇక్కడ వర్క్ అవుతుంది. తీసుకునేసి అన్ని అన్చెక్ చేసేసింది. నాకు ఫార్మాటింగ్ మళ్ళీ అప్లై చేయాలంటే టైం పడుతుందని చెప్పి క్విక్గా ఇది తీసుకున్నాను. ఓకే, నా అప్లై ఫార్మాట్. ఓకే, ఓకే. So now in above table we are showing employee information. Below table we are showing a department information, right? So this we gave this report to the client, and the client is happy with the report for one day. Then the very next day came back and said, don't show department information separately. Don't show department information separately. Can you show the same information, department name and department location in the same table? Employee table in a show చేయమని అడుగుతున్నాడు. Okay. Now he is requesting to show department name and location in the employee table itself instead of showing it separately. If I want to find out Turner, in which department he is working, right? The client has to join. So Turner in the department number 30, he has to come to over here. He is working in a sales in Chicago. So he's not happy with that moment. So now he wants to see department name and location in the same visual. Shoji Marutunar. Okay. Now in the same visual, we are showing information from employee dataset. Now let's try to take a department name into it. Let's take a department name. Now this is not showing. Reason being, in one visual we can show data from only one data set. In one visual we can take the data from one data set. Now if you can just go to details, see details, can't display the data because Power BI can't determine the relationship between two or more fields, which means so there is no relationship between these two tables. We imported department table and we imported employee table separately. So we imported these two tables separately. These are two different entities right now, which means two different data sets. Now if you uncheck this, it will show the data. It will uncheck, it will show the data, which means one visual can show a data from one data set. Okay, by default. By default, if you are importing multiple tables into Power BI Desktop, by default, one visual can show a data from one data set. But right now, as per the client requirement, in a single visual, I want to show data from two data sets. That is a requirement, right? So in one visual, I want to show data from department data set in Chiravali, and I want to take the data from yes, I want to take the data from employee data set. So that right now the requirement is client is expecting department and employee information a same visual in a single visual, but here we imported department information separately, employee information separately, but there is no so there should be a common column. First criteria, there should be a common column. So here department number is a common column. There should be a common column first. Here department number is a common column. We have a common column between these two data, but ఈ టూ డేటా సెట్స్ ని మనం రిలేషన్షిప్ చేయాలండి. సో ఇన్ కేస్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు బ్రింగ్, ఇన్ కేస్ దెర్ ఈస్ నో రిలేషన్షిప్ ఎగ్జిస్ట్ బిట్వీన్ దీస్ టూ టేబుల్స్ ఇన్ పవర్ బిఐ, we have a feature of creating a relationship between tables. We have a feature of creating a relationships between tables, which we call as a data modeling in Power BI. Okay. Now you got the need of having need of knowing data modeling. So in case if you want to show on a single visual data from two different data sets, then we have to create a relationship between these two data sets. We have to create a relationship between these two data sets, whether it is a one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, many-to-many relationship. We have to create a relationship between two tables. Then only after creating a relationships only we are allowed to use these fields and these fields in a single visual lo mana show cheyalante. If you have a relationship between these two data sets, then only we are allowed to use a fields from two different data sets into a single visual. Okay, any questions? Now, so where we build a relationship, so where we build a relationship between these two tables, and here we have a modeling tab, that is a model tab. Click on a model tab. Here you can see a list of tables which we imported into Power BI Desktop. Okay, here we imported 4 tables, right? TBL import, TBL direct, and here we can see the relationship between the tables. So right now there is no relationship defined. In case if you want to see, is there any relationship defined between these two tables? No, right now there is no relationship. In case if you want to define a relationship, then it's a simple thing. Uh, Select this and drop it on this. Now I'm defining a relationship. Now I'm created relationship. So now I created a relationship between these two tables. If you select this relationship, it will highlight a key columns. Department number, just select this, and now it is highlighting department number field from DPT table and DPT number field from employee table. So common column highlighted. Now go back to visualization. Now go back to visualization. After having a relationship, now you can use department name, which will show, and now we can use the location. Now we can remove it, right? Any questions on data? We will discuss about cardinality. We will discuss about relationships in a next session detail. Okay, so I wanted to explain what is the need of a data modeling in today's session. In next session we will go through each and every small feature in data modeling tomorrow in next session. Okay, so the need of knowing data modeling is a very important concept across Power BI Desktop. Okay, so what is the need? In case if you want to consume, of fields from multiple databases, multiple data sets. Okay, so just drag and drop అండి, జస్ట్ మనం డ్రాగ్ అండ్ డ్రాప్ చేసినా ఓకే, లేదంటే జస్ట్ సెలెక్ట్ చేసినా కూడా డైరెక్ట్ గా సెట్ అయిపోతుంది. Okay, so in case if you want to consume of fields from multiple data sets into one visual, then we have to create a relationship between these tables. So where do we create a relationships? We create a relationship between tables in a modeling tab. Over here we create a relationship. Okay, we will discuss properties and active connections between tables in next session. Okay, any question? That's all for today's session. If you have any questions, I'll take up your question.